I'm excited to welcome Eljaboom, an avid Binance supporter, as well as a prominent crypto voice in the local crypto scene, and Badr al our head of operations for the MENA, South Asia, and Turkey regions. Let's give them a round of applause as they get into why Binance and the UAE are shaping the development of the crypto innovation and Web3 space. Let's give them a round of applause.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. And just quickly before we get into it, shout out to the angels before they leave. Honestly, without you guys, Binance wouldn't be where we are today. Thank you.
Part to being part of the Binance agents because they're giving their time for things they believe in, right? So first, Assalamu alaikum, Gunaiden, Ni'ama. So everyone in the world is coming here today. I have a show called Room of Eljaboom, basically where I interview people from the industry and we speak organically, so we know we need to see more quality in the space because the retailers are the one driving the current movement, but in the future, the only real people in the industry will be the one shown. So today I have Badr. Badr is the head of MENA South in Binance. But before that, we want to know who's Badr. What's your background? What did you study? Where are you from? Then how did you join Twitter?
Pleasure to be here. Elja, good to see you again. Hi everyone. Hope you're enjoying your time at BBW. It's been a crazy day yesterday, fantastic outcome, and hopefully we can continue to meet the standard on day 2, no doubt about it. Okay, so the story of Badr begins in Kuwait. I was born there. I went to school in the US, Florida, did my undergrad. Loved Florida so much. I wanted to do my MBA. Wanted to try and do my PhD, but Baba said enough's enough, come back. I started my career in Dubai in 2007. I was doing investment banking in Citigroup. I did that for about 5 years, but I always had that itch for entrepreneurial endeavors, and I figured it was time to scratch it. And 2013, I ended up doing my first startup, and then did a couple startups after that. And then I took some time off, and I was looking to kind of venture build in Web3. I really believed in the industry and fell in love with the space. Saw a lot of opportunities that can be solved using blockchain technology. Right before I took off on that journey, I met Richard Tang for a lunch, and he convinced me to ditch what I was doing and build with Binance. On multiple things. So he convinced me to join Binance and build with them. And it was a great decision that I made. And now I've been with Binance for 2 years, heading up the MENA South region, which is essentially MENA, South Asia, and Turkey. So I think I have one of the most exciting markets with incredible growth, incredible opportunities for blockchain.
So mashallah, you started right away. When you jumped to Web3, you went to #1 exchange in the world.
Alhamdulillah.
By the way, I don't believe this story. Sometimes I think he was a model before because he's always elegant. You don't find this too much Web3. Second question, Badr. Since you're from Kuwait, mashallah, and you living in Dubai for a long time, how did you see Web3 in Dubai, and how's the ecosystem getting involved here and building?
Hey, look, it's been an exciting place to be if you're passionate about Web3 or in innovation in general. I mean, Dubai is at the epicenter of the crypto world, and being a part of that journey with the largest exchange in the world is truly a privilege and a lot of fun, learning a lot. For me, I think Dubai is going to be a showcase for the rest of the world. 2 things. One, that crypto and regulations can go hand in hand to drive the industry forward, and that crypto can go mainstream with a lot of use cases coming online out of Dubai. And for me, that's very exciting because being from the Middle East, traditionally we are importers of disruptive technology. For the first time, by leading the pack, we are now capitalizing on a new technological revolution that's being exported from this region. So that's very exciting. And the last 4 or 5 years, we've seen a lot of growth in the Web3 space. This year alone, we've grown over 40%. And there's a lot more to come. And I think, to me, what makes Dubai, maybe I'm jumping the gun, I'll stop here and then we'll follow up if you need to. Because I know we're short on time. Oh my God. Okay, bye.
So, Now, since Binance is licensed in Dubai, I always believe in education, right? Because the biggest problem today is the education. People just jump because of the hype, money, all this, yada yada yada, and then they lose because there is no education happening. So, what is the opportunities you can see from Binance side to educate?
Yeah, look, I think UAE presents a lot of opportunities, right? And taking a step back, number one, you're operating in an environment with one of the highest crypto penetrations in the world at 30% plus, right? So that's a great starting point. The level of awareness is already quite high. Obviously, we're going to use education to push that envelope forward. But then the next agenda is to teach them how to use crypto safely and to understand why it's beneficial to them. So we spend a lot of our time investing in our academy, which is free online, partnering with universities.
Is it English or you have
It's both Arabic and English, right? And then Dubai also makes it unique is that they have a great balance in its regulation. Like regulation is super important for crypto taking the next chapter. But Dubai has done it in a way where it's balanced. It optimizes for user protection, but at the same time, it's also commercially viable. And that's a very delicate line to thread, but also very important. And so what that means is that if you're building in Dubai, you now have a wider audience that you can cater to. I can build for the crypto OGs. I can build for retail adoption. I can build for institutions. And what makes Dubai even very more unique is that I can build for government. The government not only set the rules of the game, but they also have a seat at the table, and they're big consumers of blockchain technology. So I think all these things combine make Dubai a very unique place. And then lastly, in terms of infrastructure, Dubai has it all: the talent, the capital, and a seamless way to set up your business.
See, that's true. I mean, mashallah, Dubai is always, let's say, the city that actually see the future and are always sure to have it regulated, right? And here we have my friend from Marat, Sabah, is one of jumping into the space. I'm happy to see Marat, but also to come in the space. He's mashallah a good guy. Today we're talking about the regulations, right? And today we have a lot of retailers. What's the plan to get institutions? Because the moment you are starting institutions, especially in the MENA region in Dubai, you are getting the retailers in the right way.
Yeah. So look, I think if you take a step back, in any disruptive technology, it's the same story, right? An entrepreneur or a bunch of entrepreneurs will come, establish product market fit, they get to a certain level of scale. At that point, regulators wake up and say, okay, we need to catch up and set the rules of the game. And this is what's happening with crypto today. Now, why this is important is, obviously we want to increase participation in crypto, and institutions are going to be a key player to take crypto forward. So essentially, with clear regulations, we can start to get the flywheel going, right? So that means increased participation, which then means more capital. More capital means more builders, more use cases. More use cases means more participants. The flywheel continues, right? And then at some point, you get to a stage where WEB3 becomes so important that all businesses will need to adopt WEB3 rails in order to remain competitive, similar to what happened with the internet with brick and mortar businesses at the time of the internet boom in the late 90s, early 2000s. But just to kind of close off on that, what we're seeing today is it's a challenge to get jurisdictions to adopt new regulations like what Dubai has done. Binance is leading the pack. We have 20 at the moment. So, we'll continue to push that envelope. Then the second challenge after that is to ensure that the regulations are harmonized. Because currently, you find big variance of regulations from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. So the user journey, crypto is global, but the user journey is going to be quite fragmented because we don't have this harmonization. And so we'll see that coming as the second challenge when it comes to regulations. That's something to solve.
That's true. Now, there's Badr, the Binance guy, and there's Badr, the DJ guy. So we've seen so many cycles in Web3 and many trends, right? Memes, RWA, AI, infrastructuring, etc. Where do you think the next boom market will be at?
Okay, so look, in my opinion, one, it's very important to understand, this kind of technology, it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? It took the internet 22 years to hit 1 billion users and have their hockey stick moment. And that was primarily on the back of social media in 2005. So for crypto, we're still early, right? Just to kind of set the scene, we're only at 6% global penetration. right? Crypto, the total market cap is 2 trillion. That's less than the top 3 single publicly listed companies on the Nasdaq individually. So it's still early days, and I think these paradigm shifts take time. Now, I feel the pace and velocity of innovation is going to be much faster, right? With the advent of smartphones, higher awareness, there's a lot of network effects, right? So where I see crypto going, I think we will have our mass adoption moment, inflection point very soon. And I'll tell you why. I think there's a convergence of a lot of powerful catalysts. One, on the macro side, you're getting a more favorable interest rate environment. M2 money supply is increasing, so with more global liquidity, risk assets like crypto tend to thrive, right? You have regulatory clarity, which is super important. And finally, we're seeing the use cases, which I'll get into now, starting to come into real life. So we're moving from the hype cycle to real world value, which is very important for our next phase of the industry, alongside the institutional adoption. So in my opinion, I think the hero use cases will continue to drive the industry forward. Number one, it's Bitcoin as a store of value, right? There's no doubt in my mind. Everything in our world has been disrupted. There's no reason why money doesn't get digitized. It's just the last frontier because it has the most inertia, right? But it's happening. So if you just think about it, like think ahead, there is about 40 trillion worth of capital that's going to be transferred from generational wealth from boomers to Gen Zs and millennials. Now, where do you think that capital is going to go, right? We no longer watch TV, we stream it on Netflix. The whole industry changed across various previous things we used to consume, and money is no different. So a lot of that capital will come into Bitcoin as a store of value or new sound money. So to me, that's very exciting, and that's a very powerful use case that I think will continue to push things forward. The second is stablecoins as a transfer of value, right? Today, if I want to send money cross-border, it's going to cost me $40. If I do it on blockchain with Ethereum or layer 2s on Ethereum, I can do it in under $1. So again, a very powerful use case. Now, stablecoins have now hit $170 billion. Yeah, it's fantastic. So, and then my favorite, again, not financial advice, is the deepin space, right?
Why which project?
No, I'll tell you why first. So using decentralized operating models that are censorship resistant, right, to build supply and then more effectively connected to demand is a very, very powerful model. And then on top of that, the participants of those networks actually get a share in the value that's being built. I mean, to me, that can be applied to so many different things. So I think, keep a close eye on the deepin space. You'll see a lot of interesting projects coming out of there. And yeah, those are my top 3.
Do you have any sponsors in Binance event that they're going deep in?
I mean, looking at one of them that's hosting deepin and other RWA projects, and then we have Solana. Yeah, Solana does a lot of deepin. Yeah, so there's a few.
That's amazing. Now, what the advice you would give to someone who joins to go to the industry?
I would say number one, have a long-term view. Whatever you're building, make sure you try to incorporate network effects because that's very important, right? I would say get your tokenomics right. Make sure that your tokens are being unlocked at a healthy schedule so you don't create inflationary problems with your token. I would say keep community focused. Crypto starts with community, so make sure you invest in that. And I would say abstract complexity build for mainstreaming crypto because you no longer, the days of building for the crypto OGs and the degens are gone. Think about how you're going to onboard the next billion user and abstract complexity out of the user journey. Yeah. People using blockchain need to not know that you're using blockchain in order for your DApp to succeed. That's my opinion. And then lastly, if you're building a trading product, leverage our liquidity through Binance Link. If you're looking to raise funds, leverage Binance Labs to tap onto our financial strength. And then if you want a fast layer 1 EVM, get BNB chain.
I mean, if you're really lazy, you can just have BNB and just hold it in the exchange and you can get it.
That's a good idea too.
That's actually true. And guys, be sure that what he said, you actually listen to it because in the reality, people don't listen to anything like that. They just say, which project, take my money. It doesn't work this way, you have to learn. So, if you don't know me guys, I've been one of the Binance exchange believers on day one. I bought BNB below $2, I think. I hold it like all the time. So I heard the quote from Hui. She always say Hui is the co-founder of Binance. She said Binance will always be Binance. So I understood what does it mean. I want to see better perspective on this one.
Yeah, no, that's a great one, and I think that can mean a lot of things. From my perspective, I think it means being user-focused, user-obsessed, not focused. Obsessed is a better. Community first. I think that's in Binance's DNA. They wanted you to see the power of the community coming together the last 2 days, and Binance Blockchain truly inspiring. I would say continuing to build kick-ass products. Sorry for my French guys. And being compliant. It's a new era for Binance, and being compliant is one of our new mantras, no pun intended. And mission is to onboard the next billion users and make sure that the world gets financial inclusion. That's what we're here to do.
That's true. I want to say, the time finished, I just want to say the last thing. Binance is really organic. Binance is a real exchange. Binance, they enter to every region and they add the quality people from the same region. Badr from Kuwait, Reem from Saudi Arabia, Stephanie, the first female on Binance from Egypt, and we have the one and only Tamim from Bahrain. And this is Binance, and they add the quality people, and that's why Binance is Binance.
Thank you, Elja.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.